Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Batman issue number 76, City of Bane, Part 2. Gonna have problems with this cover. Talk about it later, and you guys have heard the things before. This was a pretty good book as far as setup issues are concerned. This has almost nothing to do with the previous issue, but that's fine. We learn the stuff that's going on in the streets. Here we find out what's going on up higher. Anyway, we're going to talk about this book in a minute after we talk about who made this book. So, City of Bane Part 2. Tom King is the writer. Tony S. Daniel on pencils. Tony S. Daniel with Sandow, Floria, and Norm Repamund on inks. Tomio Morey doing the colors. Clayton Cowles doing the letters. Daniel Morey and those two, Daniel and Morey, do the cover. And Gabriel Del Otto does the variant cover. Batman was created by Bill Finger, and Bob Kane was licking a booger off of Bill's finger. So, yeah. Why do you make fun of Bob Kane so much? I don't know. What do you say? The guy lied about Bill Finger not having anything to do with the character when, in fact, he actually did the most, with the creation of the character and Green Lantern. And Bob Kane is known for being a swiper. Yeah, swiper, no swiping. Bob Kane, no swiping. Anyway. So this was a fun book. This and the Justice League issue, which the Deceased issue number 4, which came out by Tom Taylor, both have what's his name, Captain Atom in this book, and both issues have him just straight getting his butt handed to him. This issue, unlike any of the issues prior, though, he just gets owned in this. I didn't realize Gotham Girl was quite this freaking strong. Like, holy crap. Wow. Yeah, no. I just don't see Superman being able to take her out. I'm just saying. But I would like to see that at some point. Wow, this was so messed up. Anyway, guys, as messed up as this was, we get a moment in here with Tim Drake. Thank God, Tim Drake is still alive. I haven't seen him forever. And Damian having a conversation. There was a moment in here where Tim Drake calls, what's his name? Damian spoiled. And I'm just like, dude, really? Of all the words that you could use for Damian, I think spoiled is like the last thing you could ever use. How do you call him spoiled? He had one of the most ridiculous childhoods ever. We're going to call him spoiled? At the same time, there was some insults back and forth, so whatever. When you're in the heat of the moment, it's hard to hold somebody accountable for the insults that they say, the pejoratives that they use. Anyway, granted, plenty of people love to platform and use them anyway. This book was mostly, the previous issue was really silly, and it was just a bunch of crazy stuff going on at street level. This was the stuff that was going on up top. We see, Thomas Wayne, Batman, going out and kicking butt. He's not interested in names, just tearing things up. We get Kite Man in this book. That was fun. I always enjoy seeing Kite Man in the books. Kids taking a bath, of course they're going to scream. I always enjoy seeing Kite Man in the books because, in my opinion, that's the best thing that Tom King does in these Batman books. So it was nice seeing him. And he handles Scarecrow pretty well, too. There wasn't really any Batman in this book except, him being hurt. We do see Catwoman showing up and rescuing him. We saw that in the previous issue. Here, she's trying to nurse him. And at first, I just wanted to get upset about it. I'm like, oh my God, nothing's happened. Who cares? Everything's just a setup. Hasn't everything in this book been a setup for the City of Bane at the end of the day anyways? Like, all of it's just a setup. The whole comic book is just... The Batman title from issue 1, Rebirth, has been a setup. And I'm so tired of the setups. Can we just have something... But I did talk to Brian Edward Hill recently in podcast number 125. That was last Saturday's podcast. And he mentioned about the way that Tom King writes, and he does kind of throw everything out on the table, and he doesn't really care what a lot of people think. There's bad for that, but there's also some good with that. And as far as the good, I can just look at it as this was a pretty interesting setup. I gotta admit, instead of just getting upset that everything's a setup, let's just look at it as, yes, some things are set up, and some of the setups are good, and some of the setups are bad. This was one of the good setups. So yeah, I enjoyed this book. I genuinely did. City of Bane is here. Can we just have some ass whooping? I do have a problem with this cover. The typical cover that I always have a problem with is when you have, this is all that Bane is reduced to. Who is Bane? He's the guy that broke Batman's back. What else has he done lately? Nothing. Nothing. Every single good Bane story has already been told, and it was only one. Maybe Tom King can change that. Maybe. But not with covers like this. Anyway, guys, I'm done. I got a premiere to attend. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.